Happy Halloween, everybody. We're back for another spooky season, and I think we've got a doozy of an idea for this year. They're getting harder to think of, I will say, but I'm pretty happy with what we came up with. I got the full pantheon of the No Flicks Given crew, Matt, Peter, and Connor. How's everybody doing?
All right.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Ready? I am happy to be firmly in fall now.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm still
Same.
waiting for fall to hit in Texas, but once it does, I'll let you know.
Do you get fall?
Well, we're out of 100-degree weather, so that's basically fall here.
Oh, okay. The high 90s? Great.
Yeah.
So like the lifers are already in their sweater vests.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's what we're doing. We were racking our brains on a bunch of different ideas for like mini series to do for the Halloween season. And luckily, the answer was right under our noses the whole time because our resident scaredy cat, Peter York, hasn't seen a lot of Halloween or horror movies. So I pitched a little mini game that we're going to play this Halloween season. And here's how it's going to work. Peter is judge, jury, and executioner. So let me just say that right out of the gate. He doesn't know what we're suggesting to watch yet. And what we're going to do is Matt, Connor, and I are all going to pitch a horror film to watch. So each one's going to be its own episode. We're going to pitch a horror movie. The gimmick is we have to compete to have Peter decide which of these horror movies is the scariest without being, as he will decide, quote unquote, too scary. So we're kind of doing Price is Right with fear in a lot of ways.
Can I give you my sweet spot? Can I give you my perfect horror movie that I love the most?
Yeah. What?
Cabin in the Woods. Cabin in the Woods is my sweet spot. It's not too scary. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's got a lot of good humor to it. There are still scares. There's some gore, but like it's not over the top. And that is like squarely what I can handle is that.
So you gave us a bit of a sort of like menu of stuff you've already eaten, and you're like, what are the other foods out there that aren't too spicy?
Not only did I do that, but if you go back through the list, and we can share the list, I ranked them in order of how scary I think they are.
Of scary.
One being the scariest.
Spicy.
Yeah. One is
well,
the
what's
spiciest,
interesting,
yeah.
though, I'll just say quick, what scares you isn't always the scary thing in the movie. Like you have specific things that will kind of like get under your skin in very specific ways. We all know the Long Gonzo story. So basically like that's kind of, and I've had that in my head this whole time we've been thinking about it. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because I do want to get into having us watch these films. So Peter, we're each going to suggest one. If you've seen it, let us know because it has to be something you have not seen yet. So I will let Connor take the reins with the first movie we're going to watch for this series.
I'm so nervous.
You should be.
Yeah, and you know, I had a tough time with this because I think of all the people here, we've watched the most scary movies together. I have seen you curl up into the little Peter ball on the corner of the couch, seeking safety.
It's called a York peppermint patty.
That's right. No, that's what happens if I get really scared. I make a little York peppermint patty.
And I was going to go to some pretty dark places. I was ready to inflict that on you. But Tuesday evening was my birthday. Matt and I were at a bar. And a little film came on that I think skews a little bit closer to your sweet spot. And instead of tormenting you, I'm going to sort of invite us all to enjoy a classic, and that classic is The Return of the Living Dead.
Yes. Wow, that was one of mine. That was going to be one of my alternates. Wow, I'm so excited.
Peter, have you seen The Return of the Living Dead?
I have not. I have seen a lot of latter-day Romero. If you remember during the pandemic, we did.
Well, so here's the thing. Return of the Living Dead is not a Romero.
That's right.
Romero's partner, whose name escapes me, continues to hold the rights to the term of the living dead. And they had some split. I don't know all the details. I'll do the research before the episode. And Romero holds the rights, I guess, to the, I don't know,
Of the Dead.
time of day.
Of the living dead.
Yeah, well, Romero, yeah. So the original film was Night of the Living Dead. The other guy got Of the Living Dead, and Romero got the time of day. So it's night, dawn.
That's why,
day.
like Dawn of the Dead. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
kinda
so
what
Night of
Dawn
the
is.
Living Dead,
Day
Dawn
of
of the
the
Dead.
Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead.
Yeah, Day of the
Yeah.
Dead, and then the ones that we covered at the beginning of the pandemic, which looking back at it was so classy.
A choice.
Yeah, definitely a choice that we made.
So this is one of the 80s ones.
This is
one
yeah.
of the 80s ones.
This is the 80s movie.
Oh,
my,
yes.
my argument is that it's the most 80s movie,
Okay.
even more so than Streets of Fire. So I'm looking forward to all of us watching this. I'm looking forward to hearing all of your thoughts. I'm looking forward to imagining Peter curled up on the couch, scared out of his mind. Can I reveal what my alt was?
No, let's get through all the picks first.
Let's
Okay.
wait, because what if one of us sort of
For sure,
says, but
for
I do
sure.
want to hear it because Return of the Living Dead was one of my, it was like my second one, honestly. I'll say of all zombie movies, Return of the Living Dead is probably tied with like Train to Busan for me as far as like my favorite zombie films.
Wow.
This is a treat of a movie, and it's so funny and scary at the same time. I think this is something special. This is like an every year Halloween movie for me.
Don't give away too much now.
I don't want to give away too much. It's great. I'm excited. Matt, would you like to go next?
Sure. I was digging into my own pantheon of movies that I enjoy, but also aren't horrendously nihilistic and scary. And I went back into the annals of my childhood when I used to watch the WB11, because they used to have like Saturday movies and all sorts of crap. And there was one that was on TV that would scare the crap out of me when I was a kid, and just like moments of it have stayed in my mind, but was not geared towards adults. It's rated PG-13. It is 1987's The Gate.
The Gate?
Yeah.
I've
The
never
Gate.
heard of this.
Most
That's
people
not
have
that
not.
surprising.
Yeah, starring baby Stephen Dorff. But yeah, it is a weird. It's definitely a horror movie, but it's a weird 80s, again, because that's our sweet spot anyway. 80s like fantastical, weird, but also has moments that have stuck with me since I was 7.
Great. The poster's burned in my brain.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I can't wait to talk to you guys about this movie.
Yeah. I have not seen it either.
Matt introduced
so
it to
I'm
me.
excited.
Oh
year
no,
ago?
tiny goblin creatures?
Oh yeah.
Oh, don't look too much into it,
Don't
man.
look it
Don't give
up. What are you
away.
doing? You gotta stop.
He's doing
Okay.
pre-research so he
Okay.
doesn't get scared.
Stop it, Jess. Take his computer away.
All right. This is good. We're 2 for 2. We didn't have to kind of run through. I thought we were going to have a big problem sort of narrowing down, but apparently Peter has been avoiding this genre like it's a plague. So
That's correct.
Unfortunately, we're staying in the 80s. Probably.
I mean, fortunately.
I
for
went
us.
back and forth for a while, and Amanda and I had several long conversations and 2 big fights about like what we're gonna pick for you. And then I finally suggested this movie, and Amanda was like, "That's it. That's the one." So I'm hoping you have not seen it, but I forgot the year. But I'm pitching that we show you the original Creep Show.
Ooh, I have not seen it.
Okay.
All right.
So it's a little bit of a shotgun blast because it's an anthology. So I feel a little cheap picking it, but Stephen King,
Stephen King, yeah.
George Romero, forget who else is involved. There's a bunch
Was
of
John Carpenter involved? at
I
some
always
point?
think he was, but I actually don't think he was involved. That's Body
Right.
Bags is kind of the one.
Oh,
he
right,
did.
right. Yeah.
Which is
all the
also
Crypt
fun.
Keeper.
But Creep Show is like to me it's like one of the Halloween movies because it is just like a masterpiece of just kind of like one notch higher than sort of like Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark, but like it gets pretty heavy. But I think it's just on that line.
I think it's interesting for all of us. I mean, of course, we were going to pick 80s movies, but to me, all of these three picks feel very much like a Technicolor Halloween.
Yeah.
Vibe.
Yeah.
Of just like skirting that line between what's truly terrifying and then stuff that will almost make you laugh.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Yeah, at least of the ones that I've seen, there's definitely like some very funny moments and stuff. So it's but at the very least, it sounds like you're going to be watching some true classic horror movies for your own education.
To continue your emotional education.
I wish I could say I'm looking forward to it. And I kind of am, because everyone except the gate I've known about roughly.
Sure.
So I have heard of. I'm a little surprised. I was expecting a little. I was expecting more like older classics that like have aged to the point that they're not as scary anymore.
Wait, are you saying? Are you nervous we went too scary?
I'm always nervous that people have gone too scary, but that's.
Wait, all right, Connor and Matt. I'm not alone in thinking we did not go scary enough.
Oh,
right?
fuck
I
no.
feel like we.
No. I mean, we could have been genuinely cruel.
Oh yeah, nobody took big swings. No, I agree with that.
Yeah, we are still firmly in the no diving section of the pool. Like,
He's got his floaties on though. That's fun. So wait. Okay, so we're gonna do Return of the Living Dead, The Gate, and Creepshow.
Yeah.
The original Creepshow,
Yes.
not Creepshow 2, or the
Yeah.
show. That's great. Does anyone want to mention their alternates they were thinking about?
It's like,
Sure.
Yeah, because I was actually pretty excited about this until I realized that Return of the Living Dead was an opportunity not to be missed, and also probably more in line, generally less cruel. I was going to propose Hellraiser.
Oh God,
Yeah, we talked about that.
That's so mean.
Yeah,
I don't.
But
That's
here's-
so fucking mean.
but here's the thing: Hellraiser. Well, there's a couple of valences to this. One, Hellraiser is not, in my experience watching the film, and of course everybody's results may vary, is not scary as much as it's gothic. It's kind of a vibe,
Yeah.
Like the Cenobites, they definitely look like they are uncomfortable for sure, and that is certainly scary. But it's not like there's no chases, there's no jump scares, there's no.
But it's like body horror too.
Yeah,
right? It's pretty.
but
graphic.
it's if you watch it now, like Hellraiser has earned a reputation in the public consciousness that the first film does not not that it doesn't live up to it, but like if you watch it now, it's fairly dry and tame.
Yeah.
And like most of it is just a slow burn.
Yeah.
With little moments of body horror shit happening along the way.
It's kind of like an unusually designed ghost story more than anything else.
Yeah.
That also includes a little bit of incest, but yeah, like horrific things happen, but it's not scary. However, the second valence is knowing Peter the way that I know Peter. Peter's main fear is existential in nature. If it's a thing that he cannot understand, it is to be feared. And the Cenobites and the world of the Cenobites and like the rules of Hellraiser are certainly, they're sort of like Eldritch adjacent,
Yeah.
Sort of like if you mix the world of Call of Cthulhu together with like the biblical hell, that's sort of what you get. And I think I don't know if there was a moment that Peter would have necessarily jumped off the couch, but he would have come out the other side of that movie a different person.
I would argue the "and Jesus wept" shot, and if you remember this, you will know what I'm talking about, would be that moment.
Yeah.
Peter, I'll say I've never seen a Hellraiser movie, so if you want to Thelma and Louise it with me, I'm happy to go through it.
You've never seen Hellraiser?
I think so like 2 or 3 years ago, like Amanda was on a work trip and I was like home alone and I like saw it on whatever it was on, Shudder, Netflix, something. And I turned it on and like 2 minutes in, I'm like, oh, this is not the energy I need right now. It wasn't that it was scary. It was just like, I think it opens with like someone being like hooked up by their skin. And I'm like, I don't know if I necessarily need this.
Yeah, and that might have been a Hellraiser sequel because they really lean.
Maybe it was. Maybe I put it on the wrong one.
They really lean into like the torture and torment side of things in the later movies. I mean, the basic plot of Hellraiser is a guy basically escapes hell and has to reassemble himself using parts of his brother. And then the Cenobites come to bring him back to hell. And the main, the final girl is the guy's niece, his brother's daughter. And he is a very sexually hungry man that had been cheating with his brother's wife, and it becomes a sort of like Victorian Gothic kind of tale in that way.
Okay.
It's like The Cottage if The Cottage took place in hell.
Well, I'm glad that didn't end up. I'm glad I didn't go first because I might have picked Return of the Living Dead. Matt, do you have an alternate you want to?
It was going to be Event Horizon. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That's a movie Peter shouldn't see.
No.
Such a shitty movie.
I love that movie beyond reason, and I would one day love to debate that. But
I would love to too. I think and I should watch it.
As somebody that sits directly in the middle of you two, in opinion, I would like to participate.
Yeah.
I will not be joining.
I was going to come a little out of left field and actually submit a television episode, which to me I feel like is the only Halloween episode of all of Star Trek, which is one that's literally just called Night Terrors, and it's partially hokey, but also there are moments in it that are earnestly terrifying. Like they actually kind of did Haunted House well. In
What's
a 40-minute
original or next gen?
TNG, next gen.
Is that the one where Data's having bad dreams?
Data's not the one having bad dreams, but it has to do with dreaming and people having trouble sleeping and all sorts of other crap. But yeah, it's I do watch it every year just because it's a nice.
Is that the one with the cake?
No, that's a whole other one.
Okay.
So this one it's essentially a haunted ship.
Gotcha.
That's the shtick. Yeah.
That's fun. I'll do a Halloween commentary of that once we're done with this series right before, because I haven't seen that.
If everybody's willing, I would be, and it's only like 40 minutes long, so it's really easy watching. So what was your alternate then, Frank?
My main alternate was Return of the Living Dead, but I was trying to think of what else to kind of be ready with, and one of them was From Beyond, which is I feel like it is also riding that line of like it's a little Lovecraftian, it's a little body horror, but it doesn't go too hard. It's very like it's kind of cartoony, but it's I don't know. It's a fun little like 90-minute movie that's got some great special effects. And then also
many wet puppets.
The wettest
yeah,
puppets.
a lot of wet puppets.
The wettest puppets.
But if you two went harder with your picks, I was gonna go with probably It Follows.
It Follows was on my short list too of like.
I do want to watch that,
yeah.
and it'd be interesting to see how Peter handles that, because I think that's the horror movie that I think about unnervingly the most out of all horror movies. Like it just randomly pops in my head. The idea of that film fucks me up all the time.
I think going into it, I didn't want to pick something that was just going to be like turned up to 11 horror scare, because like my ethos about the season, spooky season Halloween, is like it's an opportunity for everybody to not scare themselves but you know, test their limits, but in a safe way that doesn't overload you. It's kind of like, you know, you're choosing, it's like Peter was saying, choosing your level of spice.
Yeah.
So like I wanted something that like at the end of the day truly Peter might earnestly enjoy, even if it is a little scary.
I think you're talking about the difference between scary and spooky, at least the way I think about it. Like I think of spooky in terms of like, oh, I'm excited, I've got a smile on my face, but I'm nervous.
Yeah, I mean a little bit, but like I think at least some of these picks are there's some earnestly scary moments,
Yeah.
each to his own type of like level of what's appropriate, and to be able to actually enjoy the thing that you're watching. Because like it's no fun if like 10 minutes in it's just too much and like you can't end up watching it, because like then that's no fun for anybody.
You guys saw what I have as my scariest movie, right?
I can't remember now. What was it?
Yeah, I don't remember. What was it?
It's
The Thing?
It's Paranormal Activity.
Oh, right.
Which is, I mean, I would argue that first one is earnestly scary.
Yeah.
There are disturbing moments in that movie.
The first one and like the last 10 minutes of the second one, like
Jesus.
Yeah.
The door just opened up behind Frank while we were talking about Paranormal Activity, and it freaked me out.
I was about to say that was great timing.
Yeah, that was.
Go get your pants.
Everybody avert your eyes.
But yeah, the thought that like someone could be standing over you while you're sleeping, especially like your partner that is possessed by a demon, is like the most horrifying thing in the world.
Well, those are just late memories of when I used to do that to you when we lived together.
Listen.
Jesus.
Don't think I didn't think about it.
This is an earnest question, though. Paranormal Activity, you have it as the scariest movie you've seen, but did you enjoy watching it?
No.
I don't know if the delay made that better.
Because there is also part of me of like, well, if you could stand Paranormal Activity, like we should show you like a classic like Blair Witch Project, but that's also like gets into that territory.
I think VHS, the original VHS, would get him.
No, the original VHS would be no good for Peter. That would be a turn it off kind of situation.
There's a couple of those fuck me up too. Yeah,
I do enjoy. I enjoy that series a lot, but
I've only seen the first one, but it's first one.
I think,
but
I think, and we will find out over the course of the month. I think all three of us have mostly threaded the needle.
Yeah,
I think we all pick the same tier.
yeah.
Well, but
I don't know the
I
gate,
think we
but-
may have found the sweet spot of like there's going to be just enough scary shit in it, but also enjoyable enough and not like completely scare your pants off that like Peter might actually like these movies.
Yeah. And also,
Which is the goal.
And also,
for me,
all
anyway.
these movies have a specific thing that I think is going to fuck with Peter in particular. Like,
I know yours.
Yeah.
For sure, I know yours.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come up with some sort of rubric as well.
Well, that's the
please
thing
do.
is you have to keep it. You have to decide which one of these is the scariest. But if any of them go too scary, you have to also disqualify it, basically. And I'll say too,
Yes.
I was going to pitch we just do them in the order we just pitched, but I'll kind of leave it to Peter which one he wants to watch first, and just let us know, and we'll record. You don't have to decide right now. Just what you're feeling, and then kind of like give us a heads up, so we'll watch it, and then we'll do it. We'll record your reaction to it and whatnot.
Yeah.
can I make an added proposal?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to leave this up to a vote with Matt and Frank. If in the event, Peter, you feel the need to stop watching the movie, we're going to allow that. We're going to call it the safety valve. But
Yeah.
you must record the time code of the movie when you pulled the safety valve.
Totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could do that.
Oh yeah,
That's kind of fun.
because at that point now it's just a science experiment.
Precisely.
It's math. It's just a math problem. But Peter, really try not to do that. That's like you're going to have a stroke.
Right, yeah. I mean, like, we're going to take something that you love away from you if you do, but you're allowed
Yeah.
to.
Okay. No, the goal is to get through the movies. Like I don't.
Yeah.
You
I
can.
don't
I
wanna
think
be
we
a
picked
chicken.
ones where like you should be able to. No,
Well,
the news is scarier than what we picked. You're gonna watch them and you're gonna be like, they think so little of me.
Probably.
I don't know.
is-
But I think some of my favorite, like growing up as a kid, my exposure, the horror movies that stuck with me were not movies that were necessarily consistently trying to assault you with just like disturbing moments. They were movies that were able to pepper in sequences or shots or scenes that would stick with you, but not so much that you ran out of the room and never wanted to come back to it again.
Yeah.
So the last things that I like could not finish were most years around Halloween I tried to get through a season of American Horror Story.
Oof.
And there were 2 seasons that I could not get through. I think it was actually it was 3. I think I gave up on Coven mostly because I got bored.
Coven
And-
was boring.
And then the Roanoke one I had a lot of trouble getting through. And
It gets weird.
the political one. I didn't make it through the first episode.
Yeah.
Too scary.
It was just, for me, it wasn't so much scary. It's just like, now is not the time for me, right? To be expecting
bad vibes.
Right
it was
now.
more bad vibes than anything.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
bad vibes too. Yeah.
Have we talked about and whether or not you've seen any of the Haunting
I
series?
was just gonna go there.
Nope.
Basically any Flanagan, but Haunting and Midnight Mass are the two.
Oh no,
that are
I've seen Haunting on Hill House. I like Hill House.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hill House is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
As
the show. We were talking about the show. Okay.
as somebody that was raised Catholic, you should watch Midnight Mass.
I know, and
Yeah.
that might be bonus content this year. I know I
Yeah.
need to do that.
All right. I have mixed thoughts about Midnight Mass, but we can discuss that at another time.
I'll say Hill House. I think is scarier than everything we picked here. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but by a mile.
I'm very much looking forward to the fall of the House of Usher, despite the fact that I canceled Netflix.
I'm sure it will somehow make itself available to this immediate group in some shape or form in time for the holidays.
Matt is slowly raising a pirate flag off a mast.
He's got a hook on
Very
for
squeaky.
a hand. Weird.
Okay, gentlemen, this is a nice, short and sweet episode. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Peter, you keep us posted. What you want to watch first? It's your call. You got the 3 movies. Do your stuff. Take them down.
Okay, let's do it.
It's a little Jared Leto jokery.
He was going for count, but come on.
Okay,
If only I had seen that movie.
which one?
The one with Jared Leto Joker.
There's nothing to see.
No.
Yeah.